Jason here with TheMuscleProgram.com. I'm in Tampa, Florida. It's February and it's a little chilly outside, so I decided to cook some chili. Very bad pun. No, but seriously, this is my homemade chili power meal. So let's get started. Alrighty, first let's check out the ingredients here. Got a package of lean ground beef. Actually, this is the extra lean ground beef, the 93.7. Got a couple cans of chili beans here. Ooh, hot sauce. And we've got some jasmine rice. You can use brown rice if you want. Got a little can of mild diced tomatoes with green chilies here. Got some garlic powder, some onion powder, and I've got a couple packages of seasoning for the chili. Now the hardware we're going to be using, or the cookware I should say, you're going to need a Crock-Pot, one of my favorite cooking utensils. And over here we've got a rice cooker. And of course we got our frying pan where we're going to cook the meat up. So let's get started. Alrighty, one of the first things I do here is I go ahead and turn on the stove to about medium heat, 4 or 5. And I spray it down so that the meat doesn't stick. Alright, and as soon as the pan's heated up a little bit here, I throw on the lean ground beef. And again, this is the super lean ground beef. I usually get my meat at Publix. And this is the 93.7. It's 7% fat. And I think that's probably the leanest you can get the ground beef. But anyway, I throw it on, start cooking it up here. Alright, so the meat's just about done here. You don't want to overcook the meat because it's going to be in the crock pot here. So go ahead and turn the stove off here. And next, what I like to do, I'm holding the camera and doing this at the same time and it's not working out too well. And the next thing we do, we just put the meat in a strainer here because I want to get all the grease out of it. And we're going to have a lot of stuff in this crock pot here, so I don't want the grease from the meat. Alrighty, our meat's cooked up. That was step one. Now the next thing I do before I start preparing, and everything after this is pretty much just dumping it in the crock pot. This is a very easy meal. There's these real cool things called slow cooker liners, and this kind of saves you from cleanup later, which is good. So we open this up here, and this is optional of course, but you just dump the liner right in the crock pot here. And we've already strained our meat, so let's go ahead and add that. Meat good. So we'll throw the meat in there. Alright. Now the next thing I like to do is I like to add a little bit of seasoning on top of the meat. So I've got some garlic powder and some onion powder here. Very good combination. Good thing I'm not a vampire. Garlic powder. Just a little seasoning on top of the meat there. A little bit of onion powder. Now I'm using 2 packets of seasoning. That's probably more sodium than what I need, but it sure does make it taste better. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 package of seasoning in now. And I'm going to put that on top of the meat. There's not really any science behind this. I'm just, I do it this way so the seasoning gets mixed in really well with the meat. And next I've got 2 cans of beans I'm going to dump in. Beans, the musical fruit. There's going to be a lot of music going on later after this. Now I dump the whole can in. I dump it with the sauce and everything. I don't drain it. That's 1 can. And now for number 2. Alright. And next we have our diced tomatoes here. I'm not a huge tomato fan, but my wife, she loves tomatoes, and it does help with the taste and the overall seasoning. So we dump that in. And now I'll throw in my second package of seasoning here. Again, you may just want to use one package of seasoning. I drink a ton of water, so I kind of flush out the sodium, but you know, obviously if you're training for some kind of competition and you don't want that extra sodium, you know, you can go with just one package. Alrighty, that's pretty much it. Now what I'll do next is I'll add a little bit of water. You know, you can add as much water as you want depending on how soupy you want your chili. So I'll add just a little bit here, probably maybe a cup. Gotta be careful not to add too much, because once you start cooking, you know, the water will obviously rise up to the top here. And once everything's added in, I'll mix it in a little bit here. Alrighty. And now all you do is cover. I put my crock-pot setting on low. And I let this cook on low for about 6 hours. You know, you've already got the meat's already cooked, so you're not really cooking anything. You're kind of just letting it all kind of marinate together, the beans, the meat, the seasoning, and all that good stuff. So I'll put it on low for about 6 hours. I'll set a timer, and what I'll do about every hour, maybe every 2 hours, I'll come in and I'll stir it up a little bit and then recover it, and just, you know, let that happen for about 6 hours, and then we'll be ready. Alright, so we've got our chili cooking in the crock pot. Now while that's cooking, the next, and this is really the final step here, is I'll cook my rice. And again, you can cook brown rice if you want. Some people are afraid of white rice. This is just jasmine rice here. You know, to each their own, whatever you want to do. I like white rice, so I'm going to make white rice with my chili. You can cook this however you want to. I just have a small rice cooker here. So I'll dump, and I measure this precisely, otherwise it turns out really bad. So, you know, I'll dump 2 little cups of rice. This is the actual measuring cup that came with the rice cooker, which is very, very convenient. I'll add 2 cups of rice here. And then this little bowl comes out. You know, it tells you there's like a, you know, you can't see it from here, but there's like a measuring thing in here, and you can fill it up. Like if you have 2 cups of rice, it'll say fill it up a certain amount of water and to a certain level here. So just follow the instructions is basically what I'm trying to say. Otherwise your rice won't turn out so great. And I've screwed up rice before. So anyway, so I'll cook the rice. I'll add water to that later, and I'll cook that. The rice will be done in probably like 20 or 30 minutes, and then I'll just let it, I'll keep it on warm, you know, throughout the day while the chili's cooking in the slow cooker. So that's pretty much it. Alright, it's been about 6 hours now. Still waiting on my rice to finish here, but I think our chili's done. Give one last little stir here. Ah, it smells good. And that's it, folks. That's my homemade chili power meal. I'm gonna grab a bowl and spoon now and get busy. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.